previous video, I mentioned that we bought the wrong wheel bearing. This 2006 HHR requires a non-ABS wheel bearing. You gotta be real careful when you're doing stuff like this because it can get you frustrated real quick. Me, on the other hand, I'm not that smart and I get bored real easy. This is a non-ABS sensor wheel bearing. This is the ABS sensor wheel bearing. That's why it's a little bit taller. It's got this wire coming out. This was a cheaper hub than the non-ABS. Weird, right? Well, we're going to install it. Hey there, Jack-o'-lamp. How's it going? Jack-o'-lamp here, he's real focused on his situation. He's ready to work, so he's going to help us with the camera work today. Alright, well, these are the tools I used. You can use other tools, but this is what I used to do this job. Got 3/4 inch socket, 1/2 inch impact. We got the 15mm socket and 3/8 impact. I used this hammer. I used this file and this file. Also used a magnet, 30mm socket, this chisel, this cheek poker, the bungee cord, a zip tie, anti-seize. They come in different flavors too, anti-seize. PV blaster and brake cleaner and shop towel. I would just use regular paper towels. Alright, this is where we try to find the center line of the vehicle. Let's follow the grill down through the bumper. And then as we get underneath here, this magical blue line appears to show a center. Now we're jacking on the engine cradle there. And over here, this blue line shows us part of the engine cradle where the jack stand can sit to safely hold the vehicle up. You make a star pattern when you put these on. It's best to do that when you take them off. Ooh, that is gonna hurt Jack in the morning. Something else to be aware of is that these 15mm bolts, they go through here and then they thread into here. There's the slider and there's the caliper bracket bolt. There's two of them. The marked bolts are the ones that we need to remove. Now that we know where 15mm caliper bracket bolts are, we can remove them. It's always nice to have a handy tray to put all your bolts in so they don't roll around. There we go. See how, and then you can take this and pry it off. Okay, if that's the situation, that it's, you know, stuck in there. Brakes, they're in good shape, so that's good. Now the other thing to check is our caliper sliders, okay, to make sure they're in good shape. So what we do is we'll hold on to the caliper, and then we'll move the bracket. Well, these were a little stuck. We're going to come back to that later and grease them. Another thing to note is that it's always good to take precautions. I like to stick something in there just in case you just go get in the car to get something and you accidentally step on the brake. Put something in here so that it don't collapse and push the piston out. That'll save you a lot of headache. As you can see, we are going to use this bungee cord to hold it up out of our way. Now if you don't have a coil spring on your vehicle, then I would suggest getting a vice grip and putting it on somewhere. Okay. Then you put it on somewhere, and then you can attach it onto that. Okay? See? Anytime you see opportunity for rusty threads, I always like to get a cheek poker out and clean them up. There, that's going to be nice. Now you don't have to fight all that rust coming off. And then you're going to want to get your persuader out. Make sure not to hit your threads. If you're worried about it, just put your lug nuts back on, and that'll help you to avoid wrecking your threads. There you go, see? Now you can swing all you want, you're not going to hit them. This one's a stubborn one. There we go. Rusting on this side. See, there's no coating on there, it's just steel, so it's very corroded. We'll clean that up too. I have the car with the key in it and it in neutral, so that's why I'm able to spin this freely and have the key in the ignition so that I can turn this by hand so I have easier access. See, I put this hammer underneath here, then I can get some more leverage to turn it more easily. This is supposed to be a 30 mil socket. And then get our magnet. Is there. There it is. So you can see where it's located from the front to the back. Yeah, so these are going to be on there real tight, so you're going to want to persuade them a bit, or a lot. There we go. Now if you don't want to be beating it on it like this, then you can get, like, you know, a crowbar that you can chisel, then you can hammer on that. But you always want to start with the hammer first and then come in with the chisel, because sometimes you can kind of break it loose, you know, just enough to get underneath it. There we go. There, let go. And now we're going to push this back so it's up and out of our way. We'll just stick this crowbar here to hold this out of our way. There we go. Now I can get this, clean this garbage up. You can see this is very, it's very thick in here, corroded. Gotta get it all cleaned out. So here we go. This is gonna take forever. Let's pause and get my COVID mask. Alright, now with my COVID mask on, I can really make some dust. Notice that the way this is spinning in this direction, so I put that on the edge. Now if I spin it that way and I put it on the edge here, it just wants to jump right out. So you want to make sure you're doing that too. As you see, it takes quite some time to do this. It's tedious. Now another thing you can use is files. I really like using my half moon file. Whenever you file, you go in at an angle, because you can see on here how they're angled. That helps you to get it to be more aggressive. It's just going in and make sure that you're holding it straight, because this will file that aluminum right out. Okay, we're getting places here. Now we're going to move this so it's out of our way. Clean this up. Alright, so now we got to clean this surface too. Let's see if this part's going to fit, alright? Alright, we'll use every mechanic's favorite thing. Brake clean. There, nice and clean. We're going to do one little added measure anti-seize here. Don't really need it, but make it a little easier for the next guy to replace it. You can also use wheel bearing grease, anything that's thick that's going to stay on there. This is oblonged here. It's not a perfect circle. It's oblong so it can receive this to slip right on through. There. See? Look at that. Just like butter, in like flint. Your caliper bracket bolt is shorter, okay? So, but they're both, your caliper bracket bolt and your wheel bearing bolt are both 15 millimeter size. So, wiggle your part around, find some good threads. That's not coming off. Alright, good. Oh, kind of wiggle our part till we find that spot where the threads move nice and easy. Let's get our last one in here. Alright, always make sure your direction is going the right way. We want right tight. So this is turning to the right. And our settings are strong, so I'm going to put it on. See, I'm hand tightening this one over here to make sure that it's still aligned. Okay, and then I can turn this. Alright, see, we've got this that ABS wire up here, and we'll just zip tie it down. There, now it's up, out of the way. It's not gonna hit the spinning axle here, the tie rod end. It's not gonna hit the wheel bearing. Okay, so we're good to go on that. All right, sometimes these caliper pins, the grease gets real old and dry. So what I'll do is I'll pop them off here, and then I'll take my pick. I'll just give them a little squirt. It don't take a lot because there's already grease in there. It's just old and dry. So then we pop that back on like brand new. So we're all about saving money on this, on any rig I drive. Okay, this side we'll do the same. We'll pull this down. Sometimes you do need to get the pick in there to get it off. So, and you look at how nice and shiny that is. So I know that there's grease in there, and I know that this is a good boot. There we go. Just like brand new. Now watch it, we'll move it. Should be able to just one hand just move it like that. That's how easy it should move. Is this recording right now? Alright, usually I take my angle grinder and I kind of trim this edge a little bit. Rust will, like this, will actually chew through your brake pad before this does. Yeah, that's some scientific stuff. I don't know how that works, but I know that when there's rust in a brake pad, the rust will win over the brake pad. We got this cleaned up and then we gooped it up. Now if you're having trouble having this held on, you can get your lug nut. You can put it on here, and it'll hold that down real nice for you. See? Now it should be easier for you to thread this bolt in. We got them in. Now we can just tighten them down to factory torque specs. If we got this. Yeah, once we get threaded on, they are torque wrench, so we can torque this to factory spec. To our checklist, we got our bungee cord out of the way. We got Our bolts are tight. We don't need this here. And then we also check our tray that was holding our bolts, see if what's left. Just the lug nuts. Alright, we're good. We just need to get the rim and put on, and we're golden. So you always want to put like some carpet down, and then you can set your fancy wheel on the carpet so you don't wreck it. And the reason we're doing that is because if you can see, it's really corroded, and we might want a nice flush surface here. As you can see, nice and shiny now. So it's always easier just put the lug nut on the socket and then turn it in by hand, because you know, my big fingers, it's not easy to get in there. You'll like it. It's way easier. So now we just need to torque these to the vehicle spec, and then we use our star pattern. Here we are. And your wheel bearing has been replaced. So let me know if there's something that you need help on, to be clarified, to be added. If there's something that you're unsure about, leave it in the comments and I'll get right back to you, because you can do this. Alright? This is a doable job. Until something else breaks, have a great day.